We are live. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Couch Warrior podcast. As always, I'm your host, Mike, and today we're going to be breaking down UFC Vegas 100. So this week I'm going solo. We're going to try to make today a relatively quick show. I don't love this card in terms of betting. I have only one bet so far. I don't expect to have many bets, maybe a few spots that I'm looking at, but I don't think this is going to be a heavy card for me. So I'm going to try to make this relatively quick. There are still a few spots that I want to look at, and whenever I get to those fights, I'll let you guys know if, I feel like I need to go back and tape them more. There's a few spots I haven't gotten to look at a ton, so I'll talk about those, and we can dive right into it. Let's not waste some time. Today is a crazy day. It's election season here in America. I don't talk politics on here. Don't talk about who I like or dislike, but it is a crazy day. It's been hard to stay focused, and anybody watching, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully we can stay a little bit distracted with the stream. Let's catch up with the chat. Daz in the chat, thank you for tuning in, my brother. GM3 and Gillian Sub-City, let's go. Maybe. My guy Tyler in the chat, thank you for tuning in, Tyler. I honestly think we're going to go under. I think it's going to be under 3.5 dogs. I don't see myself having too many spots here. And Bonino over there letting us know the election odds right now, but we're not going to talk about that. All right. First fight of the night. Oh, I did want to announce some big news. Me and the channel are partnering up with Fan Arch now. They will be helping me with the channel. We're going to start putting out more content. We're going to start putting out more content outside of betting. The betting content won't go anywhere. I will still do my shorts. I will still do my live streams. I will still do the panel with my guy Tyler. But now I'm going to be doing more content, going to be adding that to the channel. So hopefully that should be good. And yeah, let's jump right into it. We got Tresean Gore versus Antonio Trocoli. Gore 4-2-0. I didn't realize he's that green. 30 years old, 6 feet tall with a 75-inch reach. Trocoli 12-4-0. He's 33. He's 3 years older, 5 inches taller, and he's going to have a 5-inch reach advantage. Really weird fight. I don't understand how anyone can be confident here. I totally do not understand laying chalk on Tresean Gore, but at the same time, do I really want to play Trocoli? Not really. I mean, look, like Trocoli's a solid grappler. I'd say that's what he's better at. That's probably his strength. But he's not a super strong grappler. He couldn't even take Shara down. I know that he was on short notice, but that was kind of a bad look. Gore's got decent takedown defense. Trocoli's going to be a lot bigger. I don't know if he's more physical because Gore is also a very physical guy. Having some issues with my mouse right now. That's a little annoying. Well, while that figures itself out, I'll keep going. Trocoli is going to be physical. He's going to have maybe a grappling edge. He's a solid grappler, but I don't think it's that good. Gore's solid takedown defense. Both guys hit relatively hard. I think Gore hits harder out of the two of them. I think he's probably a little bit of a cleaner striker. I like Gore to win. I just think he's a better fighter, and Trocoli has a lot of red flags for me. He's very inactive. Only recently he started being active. I know he's having some legal problems. I think he attacked somebody. I don't really know. He's got all kinds of issues, and it's just not somebody I want to get behind, even as an underdog. I don't really see a reason to get involved. You don't have to bet every fight, and this is one of those fights where you really don't have to bet it, and I probably will not. I will pick Gore. Like I said, I think on the feet he's better. I think he hits harder, and I think he has a takedown defense to keep it on the feet. But he's been out for a while. He's super inactive in his own right. Can't really trust him. You cannot trust him at chalk. And I wouldn't be shocked if Trocoli had some success with the grappling. Maybe he looks a little bit better than in the Shara fight. Shara is much better than Gore, in my opinion. More well-rounded, maybe not more well-rounded, but a better fighter. And Trocoli didn't do great, but he had his moments. So maybe he's got a chance. I don't care much for this fight, though. I'm going to pick Gore, and we can move on. 1 second while I figure out what the hell is going on with my mouse. All right. It's back to working. Had to plug it in because it was dead, but right now it seems to work. Moving on, we've got Cortavious Romious versus Gaston Bolanos. Romious 9-2-0. He's 30 years old, 5'4" at the 68-inch reach. Bolanos 7-4-0. He's 32. He's 2 years older. Going to be 3 inches taller, and he's going to have a 1-inch reach advantage. I'm leaning with the underdog here. I think I am going to get to a Bolanos play. I'm just waiting on the line for now. Going to see what happens with it. the way I see it, Romious, he's definitely more well-rounded, and we know that Bolanos isn't strong on the ground. We know that Romious can grapple. We know that Romious does have solid jiu-jitsu. But, I don't necessarily think Bolanos getting taken down and out-grappled a little bit by Aaron Phillips is a terrible look. Aaron Phillips is a seasoned fighter and a solid grappler. That's what he's good at, is grappling. And Bolanos did decent. He was able to scramble back up. He was able to defend when he was in bad positions. He did get taken down, though. So it's a little bit of a concern, but you're giving me plus 175. On the feet, Bolanos is much cleaner, much, much cleaner. I like his striking a lot more. I like his combos. I like the kicks. Romious is just, he doesn't really have a competent striking game, in my opinion. When he throws straight down the pipe, it's nice. It's clean, fast hands. He does hit hard, but he overextends. And that cleanness, that straight down the pipe, it doesn't really last very long. And before you know it, he's swinging wild and he just doesn't look very good. It's very hittable. He has a terrible fight IQ. He makes a lot of really poor decisions. He doesn't grapple when he should grapple. There's a lot of concerns. I think he has potential, but at the same time, he's already 30. It's not like he's a young buck. He's not 25, 26 with this whole career ahead of him. He's got a few years before his prime's over. And I just don't know about him being such a favorite. I think it makes sense to make him a favorite. I think because of the grappling, that makes sense. But at the same time, I can't get behind that at all. I like Bolanos here. I think he has what it takes to defend the takedowns from Romious, because I don't think he's like an elite wrestler or anything like that. Neither is Phillips, but it's hard to explain. I just don't think Romious is going to have a ton of wrestling success. I think he'll get some takedowns, but I also don't trust him to wrestle when he should. If he comes out and grapples early and often, he should win this fight if he grapples early and often, but you can't trust him to do that. I really don't like the fight IQ. And if he stands with Bolanos, I favor Bolanos a lot. Romious is also very hittable. Yeah, for me, it's Bolanos or pass, and I'm likely going to end up on Bolanos. My mic is popping. Oh, that's not good. Let's see what happens. Is this any better, guys? Let me know, and then we'll go from there. Let's go back to the chat, though. Let's see what we got. Irish Spring saying congrats. Thank you, Irish Spring. Appreciate you. No, not going to do that. Not going to do that either. That was an accident. I think the only, there's plenty of us who think Bolanos has a shot. I know some people who got him at minus plus 400, which is really nice. I'm popping like crazy. What is going on? Any better? How does this sound, guys? Let me know. Apologize for the technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on. Are we better? Aussie's saying no. I'm not sure what he's saying no to. Local man shakes fist, says I'm bassy. My mic is doing weird things right now. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Hold up. Testing, 1, 2, 3. How do we sound? It did it again. Hold up. All right, I did the good old unplug and replug. Let's see if it holds. Yes, local man shakes fist. It tends to work usually, but right now my mic is acting up and I can see that. I really don't know what's going on. This is really annoying. All right, hold up. Let's figure this out. It's even worse now. Great. I don't really know what to do. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's still bad. It stopped messing with the volume, so I'm hoping maybe it's working now, but I don't know. I don't know what framey means, but that's also concerning. I'm on a desktop, so I can't do that. I have a good microphone. Spent quite a few dollars on it. Semi-robot. That's not good either. How about now? Anything? Tower's right. They are sabotaging me. No. All right. How about now? I wish that would make life easier, huh? I could just switch to sign language if I could. Is this any better? If it's not, I'm going to have to cut the stream and then redo this tomorrow because I don't really know what else to do. I've never had this happen to me before. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Shows me it's plugged in. Not showing me any issues, but if it's not working, it's not working. Try restarting. If I restart my computer, then I'm going to have to redo the whole stream. Dad's saying it's probably good enough to continue. Yeah, I don't know how bad it is. Let me pull myself up on my phone and see what this sounds like. Thank you guys for sticking in with me and helping me out. I do apologize. And then redo this tomorrow because I don't really know what else to do. I've never had this happen to me before. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, I can hear what you guys are hearing. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Lucrative tuning in right when I have technical difficulties. Apparently, Lucrative, this isn't going very well, so maybe you guys should be watching the election instead. Yeah, I can hear what you guys are hearing. Yeah, I don't know what to do. An election instead. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Well, that sounded a little better. All right. Yeah, I'm going to do what Lucrative's saying. I'm going to jump out the stream, jump back on, and then we'll see. 6 Hounds saying I'm sounding good. Daz saying testing, 1, 2, 3. 6 Hounds saying I'm good. Am I good, guys, or should I hop out and hop back in? It's doing the volume thing again. All right. I'm going to jump out. I'll jump back in, and then we'll just bite the bullet and we'll go on. So let's see what we can do. Tower saying I'm way better. All right. Screw it. Let's just rock. If it's bad, it's bad. Nothing we could do. Gaston Bolanos is the pick. Dog or pass, certainly, and we can move on. 6 Hounds saying not to touch my gain knob. Yeah, I usually keep it higher, though, and every time I raise it, it keeps lowering it back down. So I'll just keep you guys close to my mouth. If it gets really, really bad again, let me know, and I'll just cut the stream and redo it tomorrow. But we'll try to go on. Next up, we've got Melissa Mullins versus Klaudia Sygula. Hunter Ruzal, what's up, brother? Saying the sound is good. All right, then hopefully it's good. Melissa Mullins versus Klaudia Sygula. Mullins 6-1-0, 33. She's 5'7" with a 68-inch reach. Sygula 6-1-0. She's 25. She's 8 years younger, going to be 1 inch taller, and we do not have her reach. I don't really understand why people are laying chalk on Mullins outside of just wiki capping and saying Sygula hasn't fought anyone good, so she's going to lose. Because I don't really understand it. They're both really similar fighters. They have similar levels of experience. Mullins has fought the better competition. I don't have much doubt in that. Sygula's competition levels are pretty terrible. But I really don't understand how you could justify Mullins minus 250. I just don't understand the line. Both of them are grapplers primarily. Both of them have really similar styles of grappling. They work off of trips mostly. You don't really see many traditional takedowns from them, mostly trips. I think Mullins is a little bit more physical. I think Mullins is going to hit a bit harder. And I really don't like Sygula's striking defense, but I also really don't like Mullins' striking defense. So I don't think there's much of a difference there. I think that Sygula, I don't really know who's a better striker. It's hard to tell. Sygula is not great, but neither is Mullins. Maybe I'll edge Mullins a little bit, but Sygula will throw more. She has a more varied attack. She uses more kicks. So on the feet, I give Mullins the power and maybe a slight like technique edge, but overall, I don't give her a tremendous edge. I think that Sygula will throw more. I think, like I said, she has better kicks. She mixes it up a little bit better. So I think it's competitive standing. And then it really comes down to how it goes with the grappling. I can't tell you who's the better grappler. It's hard to tell right now based off of their levels of competition. Like I said, they're very similar. If Mullins is able to get down Sygula easily, then maybe she covers. And Sygula hasn't really been tested too much in the takedown defense department, so I don't really know what that looks like. But from what I've seen from her offensively, I got to think it's decent, at least defensively. I think she could keep it standing if she wants. Maybe she could get her own takedown, her own takedowns. Mullins doesn't have the best takedown defense, so I lean Mullins just based off of experience and a little bit more power, and I really worry about that striking defense of Sygula. Kind of feel like Mullins might be hurting her a few times on the feet, maybe even gets a finish. But if she doesn't, this is going to be a close, grindy fight. Both women getting takedowns, some scrambling, and with Mullins landing the better shots, but Sygula landing more. So it's Mullins as a pick. Clear dog or pass. I can't justify minus 250 on Mullins or anything close. And Sygula might be the goods. She's young. She's 25. She's the one who's more likely to be improving at this point. So I honestly might get to a small play on her, maybe like a half unit. We'll see what we end up with. Moving on, though. We got Cody Stamann versus Damon Blackshear. Stamann 21-7-1. He's 35 years old, 5'6" with a 64.5-inch reach. Blackshear 14-7-1, 30 years old. He's 5 years younger. He's going to be 4 inches taller, and he's going to have a 8-inch reach advantage. It's another fight where like the favorite is the rightful favorite, but the line seems way too wide to me. I think that both guys are good wrestlers. I wouldn't really give one a tremendous offensive wrestling edge over the other. Stamann is a great wrestler, and he has good takedown defense. He can be taken down, but Blackshear can be taken down too. Bautista got him down a few times. and he could slow down sometimes. I don't love his cardio. I don't think it's terrible either, but I don't love his cardio. I do give him a jiu-jitsu edge. I like his striking a little bit more than Stamann's, but Stamann is pretty clean. He's a solid boxer, and he can keep this fight really competitive. If Blackshear is not getting on top and like taking the back or something, I think this fight plays out really close. And I wouldn't feel comfortable having Blackshear as like a minus whatever he is, minus 300, minus 270, whatever it is I saw recently. I wouldn't feel super comfortable with that. Like I said, overall, I like Blackshear to win. On the feet, I like his striking a bit more, but I don't think it's a huge edge. Grappling-wise, both are good offensive grapplers, but I give the jiu-jitsu edge to Blackshear. I think he has better control. I think he's more likely for a sub. I think he's got a nice back take that he could take advantage of with Stamann. So it's definitely not dog or pass because I don't really want to play Stamann, but it's not favorite or pass either. So it's just going to be a straight up pass unless something crazy happens with the line. I favor Blackshear, but I don't want to play him at this line. Going to try to make this show short. If you guys noticed, I'm keeping it even shorter than I planned because I'm stressing out about the technical difficulties and I don't know how bad this sounds. So I'm going to try to keep this a short show. Charles Radtke versus Matthew Semelsberger is next. Radtke is 9-4-0. He's 34, 5'9" at the 72-inch reach. Semelsberger 11-7-0. He's 31. He's 3 years younger. Going to be 4 inches taller, and he's going to have a 3-inch reach advantage. If the chat could give me a quick audio check and let me know how I sound, that would be great. So this is a fight that I want to come back to. I taped it. I want to come back and tape it again when my mind's a little bit fresher, a little bit less preoccupied. Because it's a really interesting fight, honestly. Radtke is good. He is good. I know some people now are hopping off the train because of the whole Prates fight, but that's Prates. He's literally on the he's main eventing this card, and he's an animal. Can't fault him too much for that. Radtke's a solid striker, does a decent job defensively, good hooks. He hits very hard, and he's well-rounded because he can wrestle too, and he has good jiu-jitsu. Semelsberger, people are really low on him, so I feel like this might be kind of a buy low spot on him, but I don't know if I want to do it. I think he's a better striker than Radtke, not by much, but I do think he's better. I think over 15 minutes, he can just put together a little bit of a better performance on the feet. He also hits very, very hard. I think he hits harder than Radtke. Doesn't have the best finishing instinct because he's knocking people down, but he's not finishing them. So that's not the best look. And he can be out-grappled. I don't think it's going to be a huge grappling edge for Radtke, but I do think he's going to have it. Right now, the line does make sense to me. I think it's about accurate, so I'm not really dying to make a play either way. But I lean towards the Radtke side just because I think on the feet it's relatively close. I edge Semelsberger a little bit, but not tremendously. And in the grappling, I definitely edge Radtke. I think fight IQ, I edge Radtke a little bit. And it's just very hard to trust Semelsberger. Tyler pointing out people are low on him because he's 1-4 in his last 5 fights. But his losses aren't that bad, you know. Preston Parsons, okay, not the best loss in the world, but also a solid fighter, solid grappler. Medic is fine. Wells, it was a close fight, and that's also fine. Jake Matthews' win is good. And Alex Morono, I know now Morono's not looking great, but that was, 2 years ago? Morono was pretty hot at the moment. People were high on him for whatever reason, and can't fault them too much for that. But yeah, I understand not trusting Semelsberger. I'm not dying to play him either. And I am going to pick Radtke. It's probably favorite or pass, but it's a fight, like I said, that I want to come back to a little bit later in the week and see where I'm at with it. Next up, we've got a funky fight. We have Mansur Abdul-Malik versus Dusko Tudorovic. Malik, 6-0, undefeated, 27 years old, 6'2" with an 80-inch reach. On the other side, Tudorovic, 12-4-0. He's going to be 30, so he's 3 years older, 1 inch shorter, and he's at a 6-inch reach disadvantage. I don't really know how to feel about this fight. Like, I guess I'll pick Malik to win because of the physicality and athleticism edge, but I still think he's extremely green. He has a high ceiling. He's young. He's 27. He has all the physical gifts he needs, but I don't think he's quite there yet. His striking is fine. It looks pretty good for like the first 2 minutes, but then he starts to look really sloppy. as the fight goes on, he gets pretty labored. He's only left the first round one time, and that was on the Contender Series against Wes Schultz. And it did look like Schultz was starting to take over a bit until he gassed too. And I just feel like if you have the cardio and the chin to survive that first round against Malik, you can beat the guy. You can beat the guy. He's not the cleanest striker. He's not the best wrestler. He's just really athletic, and he's very powerful. And he has good ground and pound and decent wrestling. But overall, still a very green product. Tudorovic, though, not really someone I'm dying to play either. I think that in terms of the striking, he is the cleaner striker. He has fought the much better competition. He's much more tested. He's gone 15 minutes more than once. He's fought some really tough dudes and gone 15, like Gregory Rodriguez. He can be taken down, but I don't think, and the Jordan Wright performance, that was kind of rough with the takedown defense, but I don't think his takedown defense is that bad. I think Malik could get the takedowns if he goes for it. But if he doesn't get the finish with his ground and pound, and I don't think he's on a sub Dusko, if he doesn't get the finish and he keeps going for takedowns, he's going to gas himself out. And then it's going to get much easier for Dusko to defend the takedowns. And on the feet, much cleaner striker, much more varied attacks. I like his kicks. He mixes them up well with his hands. And if we, like I said, if we get past like the 7.5 minute mark, 5 minute mark, I'm going to feel pretty good about Dusko. So, but at the same time, it's hard to get to him because he's hard to trust. His chin isn't the best. He gets hurt. He can be knocked out. And he has like tall man's defense. That chin is way up high. So Mansur could definitely chin him. He could definitely take him down, maybe do some good work at the ground and pound. But if the fight gets extended and you're holding a minus 280 or whatever it is, Malik ticket, you're not going to feel very good about it. So it's dog or pass for me. I might get to the dog pre if the line really blows out. Otherwise, this might be a spot where I'm just going to either look at like Dusko round 3 decision props or round 3 props and maybe live bets on Dusko. If he survives the first, that might be a good way to play it. But other than that, I don't have a ton of interest. Mansur obviously has the higher ceiling, but I don't think he's there yet right now. And we can move on. Next up, we have a short notice replacement. We got Elizeu Zaleski versus Zach Scroggin. Originally, it was supposed to be Zaleski versus Dalby, but Scroggin's stepping in. Zaleski is 24-8-1. He's 37, 5'11" with a 73-inch reach. Scroggin 7-0 undefeated. He's going to be 9 years younger, going to be 4 inches taller, and he's going to have a 1.5-inch reach advantage. Quick audio check for anybody watching. Let me know how I sound. I think I'm okay now, but let me know. So for this one, look, I looked into Scroggin. I didn't really know him too well before this. I've heard of him, I think, but I didn't really know him at all, so I had to tape him real quick. I mean, Zaleski's clearly the rightful favorite. The books are onto it. They have him at minus 450, but like, I'm thinking that people are looking at this fight and thinking, okay, Zaleski fought Benoit Saint-Denis on short notice, and he destroyed him. And that was a step up for Saint-Denis. So maybe he's going to do the same thing here. But one of the things with Saint-Denis was he was really undersized. He's not a welterweight. Scroggins is big. He's 6'3". He's going to be bigger than Zaleski. He's a true welterweight. He's not going up a weight class. He is on short notice, but I haven't seen a ton of cardio concerns with him. So I'm not super worried about that. He is at a good camp, Marathon MMA. And I do kind of like his striking. It's decent. Nice knees. He mixes them well, up well in his combinations. He's got decent grappling. But kind of like Local Man Shakes Fists is saying here, his last fight, he was fighting a 40-year-old who's like 19-17 is his record. And Scroggin is so hittable. He's unbelievably hittable. So if he's not able to take down Zaleski, and Zaleski's not easy to take down. He's got solid takedown defense. And if anything, Zaleski's got decent wrestling in his own right that he doesn't really use often, but he did in the last fight against Randy Brown. I struggled to see really how Scroggin pulls it off outside of like a flash knockout or something, or Zaleski just looking completely washed. And right now, I don't really have reason to believe that he's completely washed. He's definitely on a decline, but I don't think he's done yet. So I won't waste too much time. Zaleski's a cleaner striker, seems to hit harder. Don't think he's getting taken down a ton here. And he's just fought the much, much better competition. He's much more tested, much more seasoned. And it's not like his chin is gone or anything like that. So Zaleski, for me, don't feel comfortable parlaying him at minus 450 or anything like that. And maybe Scroggin can surprise us because I do think he's pretty solid and has a decent ceiling. But right now it is going to be Zaleski as a pick. Tyler saying that audio issues are gone. So Finger crossed, we could keep that up. Hopefully that stays that way. And we're up to the main card. So we've got Luana Pinheiro versus Gillian Robertson. Pinheiro 11-3-0, 30 years old, 5'4" with a 62-inch reach. Robertson 14-8-0. She's 29, so she's 1 year younger, going to be 1 inch taller, and she's going to have a 1 inch reach advantage. It's Robertson for me as the pick. I think that Pinheiro is not going to be completely outmatched on the ground. She's a solid grappler in her own right, but she can be taken down. She can be controlled. Her cardio is not good. She does slow down. I actually think she's the better striker. Robertson is not known for her striking. I think everybody can agree on that. Not the best striker. So Pinheiro will be a better striker. Robertson very hittable also. But I trust Robertson's cardio more, and I don't think we're going to be on the feet too much. Pinheiro's got solid takedown defense, but Robertson's a pretty good chain wrestler. She can get the takedowns. If she doesn't get it the first time, she'll go for it a second or third. And the control is good. The jiu-jitsu is very, very good. And at 29, even though she's so experienced and she's been in the UFC for a while, seems to still be getting better and better. Looked great in her last performance, and I think she's going to look good again here. I think the way to tackle this one is maybe like a round 3 or decision prop, because the decision is like +1 something. It's close to like the sub prop. Let me pull it up. So Robertson by submission is +140. Robertson by decision is +240. And the under is 2.5 is -150. So people really think this is going under, right? But is she really going to come out here and just sub Pinheiro in the first or second? I don't necessarily think so. I don't think it's going to be an easy fight for her until Pinheiro gasses. Until that point, they're relatively evenly matched as long as, Pinheiro's not getting taken down at will, and I just don't think she's going to. And I think it's later in the fight, as the fight progresses, that Robertson is going to be stronger, is going to pull away and maybe get that finish. So I think a sneaky way to play it might be that round 3 decision prop, because normally for like a women's MMA fight, that's going to be chalky. But based off the numbers I'm seeing right now, my guess is we get like -120, -135 for the round 3 or decision. And if that ends up being the case, I will play it. I like that spot, because I think if she gets a finish, it's going to be later. I would not be shocked if we go the distance and she gets the decision. And like I said, I think it'll be a competitive fight until later on. And I do give Pinheiro the striking edge until she gasses. So we'll see. But Robertson is the pick. And if I'm going to make a play, it'll be that round 3 decision if I'm right about what the price is going to be. Moving on, we've got a fight I'm really excited about because I'm really hyped for this debut. We got Gerald Meerschaert versus Reinier de Ridder. Meerschaert, 37-17-0, 36 years old, 6'1" with a 77-inch reach. RDR 17-2-0. He's 34. He's 2 years younger. Going to be 3 inches taller, and he's going to have a 2-inch reach advantage. I want to tape this one a little bit more. I didn't get to look at it as much as I would have liked. I do favor RDR, but I don't love the price tag. I mean, look, his 2 losses are to Malachian, Anatoly Malachian. Dude is an animal, an absolute beast. He's very, very different from GM3. And RDR, he's a really strong grappler, and that's GM3's strong suit. So I think that's going to be where it gets interesting. I feel like RDR is more physical. I think that he's a little bit more durable, but GM3 has been really durable recently too. And he is the prospect killer. If you don't beat him early and you tire out, he will find a way to win. But fights like the Dustin Stoltzfus fight, for example, like fights like that give me reason to believe RDR should win this. He's a good offensive grappler. He's strong on top. He has good control. He has really good subs. Meerschaert can be submitted. And I just think that RDR, like, I don't really see him gassing. He could slow down, but I don't really think he's going to gas in this fight. Maybe like he'll get tired in the 3rd round, but I don't think he's going to just fall off a cliff like some of GM3's other opponents. So the way I see it, lean RDR, think he can get his own takedowns, be on top, stay safe, get a lot of control time, maybe threaten some of his own submissions. Meerschaert's not the strongest grappler, and RDR's got solid takedown defense. On the feet, not a huge RDR striking fan, and Meerschaert's a solid striker, not the best, but he's solid. I think that could be close and competitive. Like I said, I want to look at this one a little bit more. I think RDR is the rightful favorite. Slightly younger guy, much bigger guy, also a good grappler. And I think he's more likely to get the takedowns, but the price is a little bit wide for me. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. Lucrative. Damn, man. Thank you. That's extremely appreciated. Thank you for tuning in, for watching, and supporting the channel. Always a pleasure to talk fights with you, and that is very much appreciated, Lucrative. Make sure you guys are checking my guy out. I believe he just dropped a new channel. JB Bets, I believe is the name, and he's going to be doing some cool content. I was looking at the description. Seems like he's going to be playing pool with guys and doing interviews and whatnot. Make sure you guys check that out and check all his other content out. If you don't know who Lucrative is, you should definitely acquaint yourselves. And let's see what else we got in the chat. Local man shakes fist. If you combine Gillian decision and Gillian round 3 at Bet Online poo-poo prices, you get plus 130. Yeah, but then DraftKings is a little bit, they get iffy with the round 3 decisions. I think it is going to be like minus 115, 120, 130, but anything like that I think is still playable for that. Because I think, like I said earlier, I think if Gillian finishes, it's late. And I think the decision's live too. So I like that spot. And then Bonino saying fight doesn't go. That was for this fight. Yeah, I mean, maybe. What's the price? Fight ends ITD is minus 150, but like, how does it happen? Does Meerschaert get the sub? I don't think so. Does Meerschaert knock him out? I certainly don't think so. Does RDR knock him out? I don't think so. Does he sub him? It's a possibility. I don't think it's like super likely. I actually tend to think the over makes a little bit more sense. And now that you pointed it out, maybe I'll look at that too. But like I said, this is a spot I need to come back to. I'm not super comfortable making a firm decision here, but I will pick RDR, and I do lean towards the overs, and we can move on. Next up, we've got Ricky Turcios versus Bernardo Sopaj. Turcios 12-4-0. He's 31 years old, 5'9" with a 71-inch reach. Sopaj 11-3-0. He's 24, so he is 7 years younger. 7, yes. He's 3 inches shorter, and he's going to be at a 5-inch reach disadvantage. Look, I like Sopaj to win. I think he's the rightful favorite. He's a prospect that we are all very high on, especially after that Vinicius Oliveira fight. He looked great. He was on short notice, and he did get knocked out, but Oliveira is an absolute animal. And Sopaj is really well-rounded. He's got great striking. He's got very good grappling, good wrestling, good jiu-jitsu, good back takes. He's a solid guy. And I think the cardio is also pretty good. It didn't look the best last time out, but again, he was on short notice fighting a really difficult opponent. But Turcios is the kind of guy who can make you gas out also. That's why I'm not super comfortable about the price, because Turcios is a scrambly dude. He's not the best in the world. His striking is okay. You know, the striking, his output is really good. His power, not very existent. The accuracy is abysmal. I mean, his accuracy, I think, is like 20-something%. It's really, really not good. But he's a solid striker, and I do think he can keep it competitive with Sopaj. I think that he might be the one who's throwing more, who has more volume on the feet compared to the two of them. But Sopaj, I think, will be the cleaner striker, and I think he hits a bit harder. And then I think Sopaj also has an offensive wrestling advantage and a jiu-jitsu edge, maybe. Turcios is sneaky with the jiu-jitsu. That's why I say maybe. You know, we saw him take the back of Rosas Jr. in that fight that he lost. He's a really scrambly dude. We've seen that in multiple fights. The Brady Heastand fight, for example, is another one. And I wouldn't be shocked if Sopaj is taking him down, but Turcios is able to reverse or scramble back up and just make this a very high-paced, greasy fight where Sopaj seems like he's winning, but it's close and doesn't necessarily look like minus 270. So, and I think he's minus 300 now, actually. So I'm going to lean Sopaj as the pick. Think he's just cleaner, more likely to finish, and a better offensive grappler. But the price is kind of crazy when I do think Turcios can make this very competitive and just, you know, by throwing more and being a really scrambly and hard to handle guy. So pick a Sopaj. If you made me make a bet right now, I'd probably lean dog or pass. But ideally, I think just pass. Maybe Sopaj decision makes sense because I think Turcios is pretty durable. And I don't think that Sopaj will necessarily submit him. I know that Rosas Jr. did, but I don't necessarily think that Sopaj will. I think we're probably going to go the distance. Maybe that's a solid way to look at it. Let's check out the odds. So the money line's actually all the way down to 400 now. That's crazy. Fight ends ITD is plus 120. Fight goes is minus 150. Sopage decision minus 105. Yeah, I tend to lean towards the fight goes at minus 150. I don't hate that as a play, especially with our gloves right now. Everybody knows what's up with that. Not many knockouts happening. And I don't think either is a huge submission threat here. Like I said, Sopage will, if anyone gets a sub, I lean towards it being Sopage, but Turcios isn't easy to submit, and he is a really good scrambler. So I think the best way to tackle this fight, if you insist on making a bet, is probably the fight goes, at least in my opinion. And we can move on. Thank you guys all for sticking with me, by the way. Not a ton of you in the chat right now, but hey, we had some serious technical difficulties early on, and I know today's a busy night for us Americans. Let's see what we got here. Benino saying, I like Sopage ITDs, been finishing, and he almost got Vinicius out of there. Yeah, it's possible, but Ricky's not easy to get out of there. Benino saying, I get the money coming in. He's going to get takedowns early. Yeah, I mean, it's not like Ricky's got the best takedown defense, but he's a really scrambly dude, so I'd keep that in mind. All right, moving on. We've got Karolina Kovacevic versus Denise Gomez. Kovacevic, 16-8-0, 39 years old, 5'3" with a 64-inch reach. Gomez, 9-3-0. She's 24, so she's 15 years younger. Going to be 1 inch shorter, and she's going to have a 1 inch reach disadvantage. If you've watched my stuff before, you know I usually try to make a case for Karolina, and I usually tend to try to fade Gomez if she's at chalk, but not here. Not here. I don't really want to do it. If Gomez gasses, I can see Karolina making this greasy, but I don't really see her winning at a super high clip. Maybe if she can get the grappling going, but on the feet, I favor Gomez. I favor Gomez in the power clearly. I think Gomez has all the finishing upside. Karolina really starting to kind of look worse and worse and worse. At 39, not super bullish, as my friend Dogfather would say. So yeah, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this one. I'm not betting this fight, at least not a money line. I'm looking at Gomez ITD. Karolina's not getting finished a ton, but I do think Gomez can knock her out. I do think she can maybe snatch up a sneaky sub. I lean towards a knockout if a finish does come, but I do like plus 210-ish for the ITD for Gomez. I think that's not bad. But what's the under? Because if the under is close in price, you might as well just play that. Okay, yeah. So Gomez ITD is plus 210, but you could get the fight ends inside the distance at plus 215. So definitely don't play Gomez ITD. If you like her to finish, just play the under or the fight that ends inside the distance because it's literally a better price. And I understand Karolina more than likely won't finish Gomez, but why would you take a worse prop when you could just cover both sides for a better price with the fight ends ITD? So I think that's the way to do it. Benino saying Gomez sub plus 1,000 might be sneaky. Maybe, but like the only real way I see her getting a sub is like a guillotine maybe. So not crazy about that, but I would rather the ITD or the ends ITD than playing the knockout prop at plus 300 because, again, it's very close in price. So that's where I'm at there. And we can move on. Don't want to waste much time on that fight. Next up, we got the co-main event. We got Cody Garbrandt versus Miles Johns. Miles Johns starting to get some steps up. Cody Garbrandt is 14-6-0. He's 33 years old, 5'8" with a 65.5-inch reach. Johns 15-2-0. He's 30. He's 3 years younger, going to be 1 inch shorter, and he's going to have a 1 inch reach advantage. Honestly, really interesting fight. Really interesting line. I thought that Cody would have been the slight favorite, but I understand why he's not. People are pretty low on him. People are pretty low on his chin. But, I mean, he held up against Figgy. He got subbed. He didn't get knocked out. And Miles Johns, he's good. He's a clean fighter. He's a solid striker, good boxing. He's a good offensive wrestler. But he's very low output. He doesn't tend to really separate often. And he's not a ton of finishing instincts on the guy. So can he knock out Garbrandt? Absolutely. At this point of his career, most people can knock out Garbrandt with a well-placed shot, and Johns is a clean striker with a lot of power. But if you're going to justify the price, you know, the volume's not great, and I don't necessarily think you can say he's a better striker than Cody either, because I think Cody's a better striker. I think Cody's output is better. I think Cody is cleaner. I think Cody mixes up targets better, and I just think his striking all around is better. I think Cody's going to have an advantage on the feet. It's just a matter of him not getting into the pocket and getting chinned. But outside of that, I do give him the edge. And then he's got really good takedown defense. So is it going to be easy for Johns to get takedowns? I don't think so. And then another thing, is Johns going to gas? Because Johns does get tired. He does slow down as fights go on. And especially if it's not going his way and if the takedowns aren't coming easy. And if Cody can keep this on the feet, which I think he will, and avoid getting chinned, which that's 50-50, then I really think he's live. So for me, this is a dog or pass spot. I can understand people wanting to play Johns because he is the guy who's got a lot less wear and tear out of the two of them. He's the guy whose chin you could trust more. But Cody hits harder, I think. I think Cody, I'm relatively comfortable saying I know Cody's faster. His output will be better. And like I said, the takedown defense is really good. And he could probably land his own takedowns. Don't forget, Cody's a wrestler too. He can wrestle well. So yeah, I lean Cody Garbrandt in this fight. I really do. It's definitely dog or pass for me. And the line's only climbing. I mean, plus 150 already. Miles Johns minus 175. Like, I just don't understand how you can think minus 175 makes sense unless you're certain he gets a knockout. Because he's not a great minute winner. And wrestling is one of his strengths. And Cody just isn't easy to take down. Maybe people are looking at the Figgy fight and thinking because he could do it, Johns can do it. But I'm not sold on that at all. Tyler's saying Cody decision only. That could be a solid look. That it just depends on the price because I don't know what they're going to do with it. And then also it would kind of suck if Cody comes out and gets a knockout. Johns is durable as hell, and I don't think Cody knocks him out. But Cody's a good striker, man, and he's really fast, and he does hit hard too. And if he can set it up, he's really good at creating angles also on the feet. So if he can set it up nice, I wouldn't put it past him to get a finish. But yeah, Tyler, if they price that well, like if Cody decision only is close to the money line, then that might be a way to do it. Decision onlys didn't work out well for me last week. I played decision only on Machado, and that didn't go well. And I did decision only on Trevin Giles, and that didn't go well either. So we'll see. If I play it, I'll probably just do the money line, but that might be a way to cover yourself because, like I said, the only way I see Johns covering here is with a knockout. Other than that, I don't really understand the line at all. Local man shakes fist, says if they set it same as the money line, decision only would be solid, but it likely won't be. Yeah, that's where I'm at. DraftKings will probably open it up like tomorrow, not tomorrow, probably like Thursday. Bet Rivers might have it up already or tomorrow. Let me see. Yeah, not yet. But Bet Rivers will probably have it out tomorrow. I feel like usually by Wednesday they have it out. So we'll see what they set that decision only at, but I'm fine with the money line too. I think the money line also makes sense. Yeah, that's what I just saw. But all right. We can move on to our main event. This certainly will not take very long. We got Neil Magny versus Carlos Prates. Magny 29-12-0. He's 37, 6'3" with an 80-inch reach. Prates 26-0. He's 31 years old. He's 6 years younger. Going to be 2 inches shorter, and he's going to be at a 2-inch reach disadvantage. Prates is an animal. The dude is so freaking good, and the Leech performance was, I think that was like the moment where I really was like, okay, this dude's elite. You know, he knows how good he is. He knows how solid his striking is and how powerful he is, but he doesn't come out there in the first round and just leave it all out there and completely gas out. He starts a little bit slow, which isn't the best in a 3-rounder, but in a 5-rounder, that's fine. If he's starting a little bit slow, he takes a second to get his range, to get his reads. But once he starts, he starts. And I mean, Neil Magny can't check a leg kick to save his life. His legs are one of his biggest weaknesses. And Prates does target the legs well. I think he could beat up the legs of Magny. I think he will beat up the legs of Magny. He's a much better striker at range. He's much more diverse, much more dynamic on the feet. Output's not the best, but again, I'm not super concerned about that in a 5-rounder. I think as the fight goes on, he's going to start to separate more and more. I don't necessarily think he's going to gas. Magny is tricky. He can be hard to find sometimes. He does clinch up a lot. He might I could see him frustrating Prates a little bit by clinching up a lot, pushing him up against the fence, just being difficult. Because if you don't give Prates that range, you're kind of taking away his best weapons. But he is dangerous in the clinch too. He's got really good knees. So I don't think it's going to work too well for Magny, but I think it'll work to the point where he'll extend the fight at least. I don't think Prates is going to come out and finish him in the first round. I don't even necessarily think it'll be in the second, but I think towards the end of the second, early third round is going to be where it starts looking like, okay, he's probably going to get Magny out of there. I don't like Magny as a dog shot here, even at +5. Maybe it'll even be +700 later this week. I'm sure people will be on it. You guys know me. Usually that's a spot I might like to, but I'm not getting in front of the Prates train. I just don't want to. I think he's going to win this fight. I think he's going to finish Neil Magny. He's not Ian Gary, who just plays with his food for no damn good reason. He goes for the finish. He just takes his time to find that read, and I do think he's going to get the finish here. The way I tackled the fight, I do already have a bet on this. This is the only bet I have so far on this card. And I played the over 1.5 on Bet Rivers at -139. I played it to win 1 unit. And I do like that spot because, like I said, everything I said pretty much. Prates, while he's very dangerous, he does start relatively slow. He takes a second. He's patient. He finds his reads. He's not a super high output guy. And Magny, especially with that clinch game, maybe he takes a grappling heavy approach. I think that's going to cook some of the clock. So I do like that. I do like that over 1.5. I think that's a solid look and a solid way to play this. Maybe you could play around with props, Prates round 2-3, 3-4, but I don't really want to do that because you never know when he's going to decide to stop cooking and just finish the job. So I like that over 1.5, and that's all I'm going to do with this fight. And that's it, guys. That's UFC Vegas 100. I am very sorry about the technical difficulties. I don't know what the heck happened. I'm going to have to look into what's going on with my mic because that's never happened before. It's an expensive microphone, so I don't want problems with it. And hopefully we can get it fixed by next week. I have to put out other videos this week. Like I said, partnered up with FanArch. Going to try to put out new content, but going to have to figure this out first before I'm able to do that because not going to be good if my mic keeps breaking up. But I'll go through the picks one more time. I'll let you guys know that one bet one more time and what I'm looking at, and then we'll hop on out of here. So going to pick Gore in the first fight, but it's an incredible dogger pass. No, not dogger pass. It's an incredible pass, period. Bolanos or pass. Going to pick Mullins to win, but it's Sygula or pass. Picking Blackshear, but passing. Radtke, but passing for now. Malik, but it's Dusko or pass. Zaleski, but not going to bet it. Robertson, going to look at that round 3 decision prop. RDR, but if anything, it'll just be fight goes, but probably won't bet anything. Sopaj, but just a pass unless, fight goes, I also kind of like there. Didn't say Gomez, but only way I'd play it is maybe like fight doesn't go because, like I said, it's actually better price than Gomez ITD. Co-main, I like Cody, especially at this price tag. And the main event is Prates, but the bet is the over 1.5. And that's it, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Like I said, I'll be putting out more content this week. Hopefully, my YouTube shorts will come out tomorrow, like always. And that's going to be it. Thank you guys all for tuning in, and good luck this weekend.